You might not like the truth, but I'll never tell a lie. Oh, Democrats, you truly are pathetic. This morning I wake up to my feed being filled with "I stand with Ukraine" flags. You know what I find hilarious about the Democratic Party is that they actually don't stand for anything. And as a former Democrat, I can tell you that Democrats stand for whatever they're told to stand for. And it's not that they stand with Ukraine, it's that they just don't like President Trump. And they hate America. Democrats stand with Ukraine. They stand with Hamas. They stand with Palestine. They stand for on-the-go abortions. They stand for puberty blocker. They stand for illegal immigrants. They stand for open borders. They stand for Mexico. They stand for Canada. They stand for men and women's sports. They stand for men and women's bathrooms. Stand for men and women's locker room. They stand for men who can get pregnant. They stand for lunacy. They stand for anything that's just filled with hate. That is the Democratic platform. They want to come off so virtuous now. But when it comes to giving your kids drugs that will chemically castrate them, crickets. But let's get to the reason why Zelensky was at the White House. He was there to sign an agreement he already made with Marco Rubio, which is why the Secretary of State had this face yesterday during the meeting. They were all under the impression that Zelensky was there to sign the deal. But when he got there, he decided to go rogue and change his mind and demand for more troops and more aid, all while cutting the president off and being extremely disrespectful. It was so bad, the Ukrainian ambassador to the United States, Oksana Makarova, had to put her head down in shame.
I want a ceasefire because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement. Last couple of people that want a ceasefire, what they see.
J.D. Vance was not having it. I gotta tell you, Vance and Trump together are a dream team. He had his back 1,000%, and he came at Zelensky like a pit bull, especially when he called them out on the mobilization police, which is what I find hilarious, that you guys are out here wanting to stand with Ukraine. You're not standing for the men really being dragged into war from the street. Ukrainian men are literally being dragged from the street and being thrown into vans to go fight in this war, which in my opinion is only being fought because all that money that we're sending to this bozo, or had been sending, being funneled right back to the pockets of Democrats. And that's just my opinion. It really doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out. So yes, this is what you stand for when you stand with Ukraine. Oh, and in case you missed it, one of the big reasons Zelensky got kicked out yesterday was because of this. He was caught on his mic under his breath calling J.D. Vance a bitch in the Oval Office in the White House. President Trump had every right to kick his ass out of the White House. Oh, and another thing, this whole ensemble thing here, you know, the actor playing the part of a president that's in war right now, so everywhere I go, I have to wear camo and fatigues because I just don't own a suit. Really? Really? You don't own a suit? Because yesterday when the reporter asked you, you were, oh, I don't know if I had the money that you guys... Really? You're a clown. And I haven't even gotten into this one and his dad. I mean, wife. Allegedly. And for all of you standing with Ukraine, why don't you go fight for Ukraine? Since you love it so much. You clowns are out here, I stand with Ukraine. My ass stands with the United States of America. And if you love Ukraine so much, why don't you go fight for Ukraine in Ukraine? And you might have called J.D. Vance a bitch, but that bitch will be your president in 2028. But now I want to hear from you guys. Who do you stand with? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, love you guys. Peace.